This meeting is being recorded.
Good.
We good?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to New Mexico's Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce Business Echo program. We'd like to briefly go over our why in using this platform. By using the Echo model, we're creating a space where IT business owners, professionals, and entrepreneurs can connect with experts and with each other to share strategies, tackle real challenges, and grow together. This isn't about one person teaching and everyone listening. It's about all of us learning together, because when one business grows stronger, it strengthens the entire ecosystem. I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items briefly. Please note that this session is being recorded, so please be mindful of what you choose to share. We ask that you please mute your mic if you're not speaking. And please keep your cameras on, because it really does help us to build a community. And please be kind and mindful of others. And lastly, we ask that you please update your Zoom to show your first name, last name, and agency. I quickly want to talk about the model that we're using. We're going to start with a didactic presentation. Then we're going to move to a case discussion. And then we'll wrap it up with the summary. And now we'll move on to introductions. My name is Laura Chavez. I'm a project manager here at the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. And I am first going to introduce our hub team, and then we'll move on to the participants. Dominic, would you like to get us started?
Of course. Thank you, Laura. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. I'm Dominic Baca. I'm a destination sales representative here in our Conventions and Tourism Department at the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce, as well as part of the hub team. Thank you for being here. I'll pass it on to Mark.
Thanks, Dominic. Good morning. My name is Mark Fidel. I'm one of the subject matter experts for the Chamber's Project Echo program. Glad to be here.
Great.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Greg Mullen, the president and owner at ABQIT and one of the Project Echo Hub team subject matter experts, and I will be presenting today's topic.
Wonderful. Elliot?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elliot Paras. I'm a program specialist with Project Echo, and I help coordinate this program. Good to see everybody.
Wonderful. Now we're going to go around the room. Bedra, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Deidre Chavez. I run a company called Scale Smart HR and specialize in HR. I'm excited to be here today.
John?
Hi, my name is John Egan with ABQIT. I work with Greg, Director of Research, specifically AI, and Director of Sales.
Wonderful. Corey?
Corey Frazier, president of Conifer Incorporated, as an AI consultant.
Wonderful. Darlene?
I'm Darlene Pohl, and I work here at the Chamber, and I'm an engagement specialist in the membership department.
Great. Welcome, Barb.
Barbara Gray, Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce Senior Account.
Wonderful. Now we're going to move on to our participants online. Kiana, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Kiani Yamada, interim membership director here at the Hispano Chamber. I also have a room full. I have Maria, our accountant, as well Eric in the room as well.
Wonderful. Welcome everyone. Ruben?
Yeah, glad to be here.
Thanks for coming. Connie?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Connie Lee, the Chief Financial Officer at the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce, and excited to see you all here.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us. Juliet?
Hi, I'm Why? I don't know why that you can't hear me. I'm Juliet. How do I stop the echo?
I don't see her on here twice.
It reminded
I'm not
me
sure
of
why.
a little kid with that little microphone, and it just kind of just goes back and forth.
I only have
I
one
think you should
window
turn it down.
open.
Just turn down your volume.
Hello from outer space. Sorry.
You know, Juliet, that's okay. If you'd like to introduce yourself in the chat box and let us know your name, last name, and agency, that would be great.
Do it real fast. Julia Jones, I'm a professional photographer and I just joined the chamber. Goodbye.
Wonderful, welcome.
She is up twice.
Valerie.
Good morning. I'm a brand consultant with Z-Mark Promotional Products and Printing Services, Valerie Martinez, and I also serve as an ambassador, secretary chair for the Hispano Chamber of Commerce.
Wonderful, welcome. Nicole?
Good morning, Nicole Abreu with Artem Technologies, and I'm also on the executive director committee for the board of directors for the Hispano Chamber. So thanks for having me.
Great, welcome, Nicole. Sonia?
Good morning.
Sonia Armijo?
Sonia Armijo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. So I am with the PC Place, your one-stop computer shop. We buy, sell, and repair all brands, PCs, Mac, new and used desktop and laptop. We have sales in-store, online, repairs, in-store and online, and by remote. We do data recovery and managed IT, as well as virus removals. And thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining. Josie?
Hi, my name is Josie Loretto Pepe, and I am the CEO of Smart Tribe 275 in Haven Springs. And I'm bringing back to the area aerospace manufacturing. So I'm hoping to increase the productivity of Rio Rancho, Albuquerque area as the business grows.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here, Josie. Louis?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Louis Sanchez. I'm an Allstate insurance agent here in Albuquerque. I own two pretty large agencies in the state, and we service the entire state just with everything that you can think of that is insurance-wise, including commercial and life and retirement, also home and auto, and been a member of the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber for going on my 11th year. And I attribute a lot of the being involved in a lot of the chamber events success for my business and getting to know each and every person out there and building some really amazing relationships. I'm also part of the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber Board. Thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome, Louis. Elizabeth? Liz?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Garcia. I work here at the Chamber. I'm a membership navigator, and I'm just looking forward to learning more about how AI can help me with Excel.
Welcome. Great to see you. Edgar?
Hi, I'm Edgar, and I'm the data operations analyst at New Space Nexus.
Welcome, Edgar. Sandra?
Hello, everyone. I'm Sandra Gonzalez. I'm a program manager here at the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome, Sandra. Sarah?
Hello, my name is Sarah Aslami. I'm just here on behalf of Tom from Briones Business Law Consulting.
Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Juliet? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I already called you Juliet.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I did post, so I'm more details if you want to look at that. Sorry.
That's quite all right. Tari?
Hello, my name is Tari Muneri. I am also here on behalf of Thomas Briones from Briones Business Law Consulting.
Wonderful. Great to see you. Marlene? Marlene Baca, would you like to introduce yourself? Okay. Was there anyone I missed? Okay. If I didn't miss anyone, we're going to go ahead and move forward with our presentation. Today's topic is Excel at the speed of thought, working with AI inside your spreadsheets, presented by Greg Mullen of ABQIT. Greg, take
All
it
right.
away.
Thanks, Laura. Thank you, everyone, for having me. Today, we're going to be talking about how to increase your productivity and augment your workflows using Excel worksheets and AI. So I guess the best way to start here is to just kind of tell you what this is not briefly. So, we're all familiar with ChatGPT at this point and ChatGPT alternatives like Claude, for example, and the type of chat interface where, you open that up, you sign in, you go to your ChatGPT and you have this chat interface. And I'm sure we've all seen the attach feature where we can upload documents and pictures and that kind of thing. And you can ask questions about it with during that chat interface. And the AI does have a limited ability to take an Excel file, say that you upload, and answer questions about that Excel file. And that's been out for a couple of years now, but it is truly a limited ability. Without getting too technical, the way that AI chat interface accesses the Excel file that you upload is by some Python coding that it has to write on the fly and use that Python to try and extract data from the Excel file. It doesn't get to use an operating system to open that Excel file and look at it the way that you and I open Excel files if someone, say, emails you one or if you download it from an application that you're using. So wanted to bring that up because we're all probably a little bit familiar and have tried and dabbled with sharing Excel files into our chat, whether it's Claude or ChatGPT. That's not what we're talking about today. What we're going to be talking about today is a brand new feature that was released by one of the top AI foundation companies out there, Anthropic. They are the makers of Claude, which is arguably the largest competitive alternative to ChatGPT, and sort of shaping up in an industry to be one that is more focused on the business and enterprise space, whereas ChatGPT is as well, but also is very consumer focused with their product. So Claude released an add-on into Microsoft Excel that I'm going to pull up here in a minute and show you what it's all about. But before I do, I just want to share my screen here and cover just quickly some data use, data hygiene policy of how you're going to want to think about this this new feature. First off, it should be noted that this is cloud-based data processing. You are going to be giving access to Anthropic, their Claude AI, the ability to see your Excel workbook. So it will be sending content from your workbook over the internet to Anthropic's data centers for that processing. When it comes to data training protections, Claude out of the box by default does not train their model on your data for commercial plans. That's enabled natively. If you're on one of the consumer or pro plans, you would need to turn that piece on within the settings. And then currently this feature is in beta. So as you all know, Project Echo, came out of the medical healthcare space. To draw an analogy there, we could think of this as a breakthrough in medical treatment or a breakthrough new drug, but is still in late testing phases and not fully ready to be approved or rolled out, right? But still has a lot of promise and is very exciting. But just note that it's still in the beta phase, and what that means is that the feature doesn't inherit the full enterprise retention or audit logging controls that Anthropic has in place for products that are not in beta. It was released, what, a couple of weeks ago? And they haven't said when it's going to come out of beta, but keep in mind that AI is the fastest moving form of technology we've ever seen. And I expect it to be in full production and out of beta definitely within the year, and probably could be as short as a couple of weeks, even, or months. So for now, the permitted data types that you would only want to use this for would be non-regulated operational data. Avoid highly sensitive or regulated data sets. Be aware that data does leave the local device, and make sure you are following your internal compliance steps with your internal IT, security, and company policies before using. So that disclaimer is out of the way. And one more kind of visual here of what this looks like. You have your selected Excel workbook content, and you can see it grabs pieces from cells, whatever it needs in terms of content to process your conversation, and sends it to Anthropic's cloud for processing. And so just, again, safe use cases here are, public data, marketing data, that kind of thing. Use caution with non-regulated general reporting data, and definitely don't use it yet for highly sensitive PII regulated information. So with that, I'm going to jump over into Excel, and we can kind of cover how to get started with this, what you're going to see when you try it for the first time. And I definitely encourage everybody that is able to play with this and give it a try. AI is a lot like riding a bike or swimming. It's not something you can get good at unless you're actually doing it and using it. You can, watch videos and read about it, but you really can't get good until you start practicing it. So I encourage everybody to play with these new features because, as I said, they're quite powerful. So what you're going to find when you open Excel, and what I have open here is one of the templates that come with Excel when you just go to open new, and you can grab a template. And this is their small business cash flow forecast template. And you can see up here on the top menu bar, I have a couple different AI options. And as I mentioned, today I'm going to be covering this Claude option. And I have it pre-installed on my machine because I've been using it. I just want to show you real quick how you can install these and play with them for yourself. So you would open up your workbook, and then you would click Add In, and then you can just search directly in here for Claude in Excel. And you can manage, and I just want to show you what this looks like here once you have this set up. So I will also tell you that this does require the at least minimum Claude Pro, which is a $20 a month agreement that you pay for Anthropic, but it does give you access to their highest models and the ability to install this Claude right into your Excel. So you can see right here, I have a couple of these installed onto my Excel because I wanted to test them out and see which ones are the best. If you do the research, Claude by Anthropic in Excel is widely accepted as the superior AI agent to embed into Excel. They really put a lot of work in making sure that the agent that goes in here understands Excel in a deep way. And it's phenomenally better than some of these other ones that I've tried. It's also, you could see here when you go to manage that it is Claude by Anthropic for Office. Make sure there's a lot of different options in here. Some companies that have made these third-party, AI wrapper integrations that I've never heard of, don't know exactly, what their data use policies are. And again, Claude by Anthropic is really positioning themselves in the market as a enterprise company and, widely seen as one of the top model producers from a foundation model perspective. So highly trustworthy. There's, again, a lot of options out there. We're going to be talking about this Claude one today. So just make sure that you know which one that you are enabling and you're familiar with their data use policies and you trust the company that you're going to let into your Excel files.
And Greg, you were also telling us earlier that this is better than Cowork, Microsoft's own
Yes.
Copilot.
Copilot. Yeah.
Copilot for Excel.
Yeah, as you can
Okay.
see here, I have this Copilot capability, and some people on the call might have already tried to click that Copilot button and see if they can do things in Excel, right? Make life easier, automate some workflows, that kind of thing. You might have been disappointed with it, or it may be working great. I'd love to hear from anybody on this call who has experience with any of these AIs in Excel. Again, Project Echo is an all teach, all learn model. And so I really do want to invite anybody who has experience using these AIs in Excel for today's topic to feel free to jump in this conversation at any point. So to go ahead and show you kind of what happens when you click open Claude. So once you go to the add-ins and you add, the AI that you're looking for, you're just going to be able to click this button anytime you open your Excel. That button's going to be there going forward. Of course, you can always delete it later if you wanted to for whatever reason. And normally it's going to pull up a little login screen here and give you a login option. And I think I saved somewhere here what that option looks like, but I don't see it. But they kind of refresh you on their data use policies when you log in, and just make sure that you're enabling this on something that that works for their data use policy. So the first thing you'll see is that we have the option here to switch models. So Opus 4.6 is the latest release from Anthropic. It's their smartest thinking model, and it has over 1 million token context window, is very, very, very competent and smart, top of the line AI. You'll also see that it's in beta right here. So you'll know just from looking at it when it goes out of beta if you're not going to be caught up on the news. You have the ability here to enable session logging. You have log out, and then you can see here it's also prompting me to refresh this for a new version. So being in beta and just being from Anthropic, they are again rapidly developing their AI and can release updates for this as often as daily, where it's going to be smarter and have increased capabilities, even over like some of what I'm going to be able to show you today. So to get started here, it has a couple prompts of what we might want to look at or get started with. Before we do that, I just want to show you as well that you have an option here where you can accept all edits, because what we're doing is we're giving this AI permission to edit our workbook if we want. So again, user beware on that. It can make changes to your workbook. Make sure you have things saved and versioned the way you want it to before you give it permission. Or you could set it to ask before edit. So it will propose the edit, ask you, and then give you the opportunity to veto or accept that edit. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave all edits on for now, and then get started with one of these options here. So an obvious one could be just explain this workbook. And I think it's really insightful here that they have these really quick actions, but then when you click that, they type out a little bit more detailed prompt. So much of using AI correctly is making sure that you are being as prompt friendly as you can, as articulate as you can. So they changed it here to walk me through the structure of this workbook, summarize the key inputs, calculations, and outputs, any important relationships between sheets, and the overall purpose of the analysis. So we can just click that. And as you can see, and as I mentioned, Opus 4.6 is a thinking model, which means it's going to have this sort of dialogue going with itself to start analyzing this workbook. And you can open up some of these and you can see exactly where it's going within the worksheet. You can click show more here, and it's really going to open up, and it shows you all the cells here that it's going through. And as you can see, it's quite comprehensive, right? It's able to scan all the cells in this workbook very, very quickly and go through and create a summary here of what this workbook is. You can also slide over this sidebar if you want, so you have a little bit more visibility into the chat and the Excel spreadsheet. And so as you can see, it's telling us exactly what this template is. It's a 12-month rolling cash flow forecast for small business, tracks monthly cash inflows and outflows to project the ending cash balance each month. And so it's got some key inputs here that it's showing us. And it's a really nice digestible way to start getting familiar with this workbook. So that's kind of one way to start working with this. Let me go ahead and jump into just another sort of example that I have here. So this is another template that I pulled straight out of Microsoft's templates that we can go through and start looking at what I've already had a conversation with regarding it, and just had it again walk me through the structure of the workbook to understand the key inputs and outputs, right? And then you can ask questions like, analyze this expense data and identify the top 3 cost categories growing fastest over the last 12 months, right? So it's going to go through and it's going to analyze, look at, the entire workbook. And it told me, well, hey, this workbook only has 6 months of actuals. So, I was asking for 12 months. So it's just saying, well, the data's not there, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward with what I have available and produce this. So the number 1 was marketing costs, up 33.1% from Q1 to Q2. Tells you the average monthly spend, what that jumped up to, website updates, and then it references here the actual cell data. And so you can click on that and just go over there, and it takes you right to it, so you can see in there. So it's just a really clean way to navigate the data that it's telling you that it got from the spreadsheet, so you can go right into there. So we see the number 2 it shows is training travel, so up 8.8%. Tells you what the average monthly spend is again. The training, the travel costs, the training classes. Then the third one here is employee costs, and then it's got a few other outliers. So it's really, really powerful in its ability to analyze complex spreadsheets and provide that analysis. You can also ask it to create pivot tables, to add other types of content tabs, again, make edits, anything like that in there. So before I jump into any other type of use case examples, or before I jump into the case study, I'm curious if anyone on the call has experience using either Claude, like I am here demonstrating, or Copilot, and what kind of feedback you have, or what's your experience. Are you using it daily in your workbooks today? Anyone?
Not yet.
Okay.
I have experience. I was able to create a spreadsheet that would help me with prompting some touch points.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like, it wasn't that it helped me analyze the information that I already had, existing information. I just quickly created a spreadsheet and listed some business names and join dates, and it helped me to create a system where I am prompted to call these people at a certain point, a certain date, and it identified when a touch point was coming on by highlighting it yellow, green when it was time to call, and red when it was past due. And so it just created this amazing spreadsheet in just such a short period. So I'm really excited to see and learn, how else we can all use this tool.
And not to put you on the spot, do you happen to remember which one of these tools that you used in Excel?
I believe it was Copilot. Mhm.
Okay, great. And well, I'm glad to hear it got good results for you.
Yeah. I don't know how it would be with more complex stuff, but in my case, it was very helpful.
Awesome.
So I have some experience using actually Chat GPT with Excel. And I've had it actually create workbooks for me on a variety of variable compensation potential structures. And the meat of it was really solid. But when I started moving things or having it create new categories, then things started kind of getting a little bit wacky.
Yeah.
And I'm like and so I was auditing it. I'm like, these numbers aren't adding up. What happened here? And it's like, oh, sorry. When I inserted this category, I wrote over this other thing that was really important. So it was a little bit sketchy.
And that's where you're uploading the Excel file into ChatGPT?
No, create one from scratch for me that I was working with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. So it produced that from your chat conversation, and it handed you an Excel file.
Yeah, that was.
And then you tried to iterate on it with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where it just kind of started falling apart. It was able to then, I'm like, okay, now audit everything and make sure that all the formulas were there. And so then I was able to find some things that it had done wrong. But I'm excited to see there's a better alternative that may be more designed to do the type of work that I'm looking for it to do.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your feedback on that. So keep me posted on how that goes. Because I think that this would potentially work out a lot better for you.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned here, you said you were starting from scratch, right?
I was starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's a great use case that I actually hadn't planned on presenting today or really thought much about, because I've been using it with existing spreadsheets that I have over the years and have been using as part of business. However, you're right. It's absolutely great to be able to open up a blank spreadsheet like I have here, and you can open up Claude like this, right? And one feature that I didn't mention yet too is the ability here to, number one, search the web. So let's say you wanted to create, a list of businesses and have it look up those businesses or something, right? So it can start populating your spreadsheet, number one. And number two, the add files or photos. So that's another way where you can take content that may be somewhere else and be able to get it into the AI and then ask questions about it, or get the AI to take that content and then somehow transfer it in a way that makes sense over to your spreadsheet, or even start from scratch if you don't have any of those attachments. When it says just what can I do from you here, just like you started your conversation previously, you would start the conversation here. And then you guys would be able to work together. And by you guys, I mean you and the AI would be able to work together to build the spreadsheet in real time. And it's going to have that context and granularity that you're looking for. And you're going to be able to see the spreadsheet right here, and you can edit it and it can edit it. Almost like we've been collaborating with humans on spreadsheets. When you have shared spreadsheets up in SharePoint or OneDrive, you can do that now with the AI. So a little bit different workflow that I think is going to be a lot more powerful for you, more accurate, and not get so convoluted and have it start to break apart, right, as we've experienced in the chat previously.
Yeah, no, it looks good. I love the idea of being able to see where it's making changes and how it references the cells too, because it makes it really easy to go see what's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas with chat, it's it goes, tries in it turns gray while it's doing its stuff, and then just pops up a new update, right? So I have no idea what happened while it was in the back room.
Yes.
Yeah. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it's a much more collaborative approach. So with that, I can just jump into our case study for today and show you, how we've been playing with this in the real world for our business as our case study. Before I do that, do you want to do a chat about the case studies? And
I would. Thank you. This is an open invitation for anyone who would like to share a real technology challenge that you faced or even observed in your business. In a future session, in a future session, you'll have the opportunity to briefly present your scenario, get insights, ideas, and feedback from the group. And Dominic is going to pull up a case presentation form to show you what that looks like. And your case doesn't have to be a perfect match to the didactic, the topic of conversation. So feel free to take a look at the upcoming sessions that are posted on the iEcho homepage. And if you'd like to participate in having your case presentation discussed during one of our sessions, just click on the link in the chat. Dominic will drop that in here shortly, and download the form, complete the case presentation form, and email it back to us. And if you have any questions at all, you can reach out to us at hispanochamberecho@gmail.com. And with that, at that email address, you can also submit your case presentation form. So yeah, if you can please go forward with your case presentation, Greg.
Yeah.
You may need to reshare your screen.
Yeah, I'll reshare here right now. And again, we do encourage you all to provide case studies. We can, do things to potentially even anonymize them if you want, or make it to where, you feel comfortable sharing your case. But we encourage anyone who has any type of business problem that you think technology can solve to submit that case study, and we'd love to chat about it here on one of these sessions. So jumping into this case study, what we're looking at right now is a spreadsheet that we use here at ABQIT for our clients and potential clients, our prospects, to help understand what is their total cost of ownership when it comes to IT spend. Because a lot of businesses have their IT spend in a lot of different siloed expense areas. You might have capital expense of buying computers and other technology that the business just goes out and buys, on some kind of refresh cycle of every couple of years. Then you might have, operational expenses like licensing that you pay for certain software, or firewall licensing, that kind of thing. And then you might have services where sometimes you might call and get help from an IT provider that charges you a time and material hourly rate, or you might do occasional project work with your IT provider, or you might pay a monthly managed services fee. And so capturing all those different expense silos, and understanding what the true total cost of ownership for a business when it comes to their IT is something that we help walk them through, so that they can make a more informed decision when it comes to either continuing with our services, switching to our services, and really know exactly the data to do an apples to apples comparison, right? And so for years, we've been using this spreadsheet here to walk our clients through that and capture that data, so we can visualize and average out, say, on a monthly basis or even a per user basis, what their total cost of ownership is for their IT. So just explaining that, in the past, the way that we've used this spreadsheet is one of our consultants will sit down with the client during a meeting session and start just asking them questions like, how many standard PCs do you have? The average cost per unit right now when you go buy a PC is around $700. Do you happen to know what your cost is? What you budget for when you go buy a new PC? What's your refresh cycle, right? And then we go through and we fill out this entire spreadsheet here, just going through the hardware, infrastructure, productivity software, the security, cybersecurity, even the ISP and the telco, and then all the way down to, potential in-house staffing, outsourced, and even the opportunity cost of, what happens if somebody who's, in operations and not necessarily doing IT ends up doing IT, right? It takes away from their day job. So we would go through and we would fill this all out, and we would come up with these numbers and work with the customer on that. So the first thing is that, depending on the consultant and the time and the knowledge that the client has, this gets filled out either hopefully complete, but sometimes it's not always complete on the first try. Consultants would have to go back or call the business and try to follow up, for them to chase down, receipts or previous invoices that they might have paid for stuff. So it can be a little bit of a process to make sure that this gets filled out accurately every single time. They might not have that information at their fingertips. So one of the first things that I thought would benefit us when it comes to this workflow within our business and using this spreadsheet over the past several years is number one to debug the formulas. So you can click right here because we've got this all with pre-populated formulas, as you can see here. So when you go in and you start filling this out, everything is going to add up and sum and total nicely and accurately, right? So, one of the first prompts was find and fix any formula errors, broken references, circular dependencies in my spreadsheet. So it's really cool to have this AI be able to go through and check every single column, cell, formula, and audit it to make sure that we are doing it correctly. So, of course, it's not going to find any, right now, because there are none, because I already did this and and found that we were accurate in our formulas. But previously, it would have been really easy for the template, to get audited, or somebody to make a mistake in the template and change a formula, or change a formula for some reason and it gets saved in the template, right? And so that's just like a quick check that we can do right away before we start to populate this, just to make sure formulas are looking good, right?
So you could have a working formula, but an incorrect range. So the formula is fine, but you're not pulling in all of the data you intend. Would it find that?
That's a great question.
If you asked for it to.
Yeah.
How would you pose that prompt? Check ranges in the summation.
Yeah,
formulas?
it'd be a pseudo language most probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can even try it right now.
All right.
Do the formula ranges seem correct? And we'll just see, what it does for that. The other thing that I did was ask it to just come up with a questionnaire that a consultant can follow to get all the information that we're looking for to populate the spreadsheet. So instead of the consultant sitting down and just going through and just kind of filling this out with them and asking, okay, well, how many standard desktops do you have? You have Macs or laptops and, dual monitors and servers and firewalls and all that. And having asked those questions, we just came up with this. I had it just create a new tab and write a consultant questionnaire that, when answered, would provide all the information we're looking for this workflow. And so it goes through here and it created this entirely on its own, this whole page here, formatted exactly the way that you see it now. And open it up here. So now the consultant could go through and follow this, open this up, and start going through and just asking these questions, right? And by the time it's done, they're done, they'll have all of these. And the other thing we can do with this, which we tested out, was you can just copy this entire tab and drop it into another AI, like a voice AI or something like that. And when we tested it on a voice AI, where the agent can, make a phone call, or the person could call the voice AI, and the voice AI would have these questions and it would just have a conversation with the person. And then we can take that transcript and come right back in here and upload it using this upload feature. and tell it use this transcript to populate the spreadsheet. And the AI is going to go through and it's going to fill out everything based on that transcript. And then, we're going to have a completed workbook here. So let's see. It gave us an analysis on your question mark. Go ahead and jump in and look at this. So it was able to look at the formula ranges, especially the sum subtotals, make sure they capture all the right rows and don't accidentally include or exclude any line items. So that's great. Good to double check. If you're careful mapping each section's line items against its sum formula, it found that the subtotal ranges are correct, and it gives you the detailed breakdown with a nice little chart here.
Now ask it to calculate how many trees got burned down because it did that work.
Yeah.
They do program some snarks.
Right. There you go.
And then, the other thing that's cool is we can use this to, make it more visual even for the client, get some pivot tables and charts. And there's just a lot more that we could do than even just what I mentioned now for this case study. So, now we have the ability to upload the transcript from the conversation. We could just have a conversation with the customer, take that transcript, upload it, and have this filled out, and then help them better visualize and understand what their total cost of ownership is on their IT over the course of 3 to 5 years, right? So it just makes this process a lot more efficient to us. We could even take that questionnaire, like I mentioned, give it to an AI, have that conversation. You could make an app out of it pretty easily and transform what was a spreadsheet for so much time to, a conversation. So does anybody have any questions or comments on what we covered today?
I think one thing for me, Greg, and I see the benefit tremendously is just for monthly reporting, ensuring that all of the formulas are correct. Sometimes numbers change or something changes on the fly, and I have to manually audit those to ensure that the numbers are correct that we are reporting. But the debugging functionality of it in general, I think, is just going to be tremendously helpful for analyzing those different formulas that we're utilizing within our spreadsheet. So that's great. Great.
Wonderful. Does anybody else have any questions for Greg? Any comments? If not, I'd like to go ahead and remind everyone that your feedback is important to us. It helps us to build curriculum around the topics that are of interest to you. And Dominic is going to drop a link into the chat box. If you could please take a moment to fill out this survey. Once again, that would really help us to shape the sessions to be geared toward something that is more of interest to you. And while you're completing that, I would just like to go ahead and announce that as a reminder, the sessions will be held every first and third Tuesday of every month. So please mark your calendars. And also the next session that we have coming up will be on March 3rd, and it will be presented by Corey Frazier, who is here with us in the room. And Corey's topic is going to be the self-driving business, automating your sales, finance, and sanity. So we look forward to that. That sounds very interesting, Corey. And
I did want to.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I was able to do stuff inside of that. Loading spreadsheets and telling
Ruben,
it could do combined.
Ruben, you seem to be cutting out just a bit.
You might want to turn off your video. Try that, Ruben.
Did we lose it?
It was on.
Okay.
We may have lost Ruben.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Ruben in here, guys. He might have dropped off.
Okay.
All right.
Does anybody else have a last minute question, comments? If this was helpful to you, we would sure love to hear it. And you can also complete the survey and let us know.
Just a couple of quick things, Laura. First of all, it was very helpful, so very valuable. Thank you for sharing this. You mentioned an AI voice intake. Do you have a favorite or referred or recommended tool for that you use?
Yeah, that's a little bit more complex.
Okay, so that's not a quick answer.
That's not a quick answer. Yeah, we hope to do a session on voice AI at some point. I know it's in the schedule.
Awesome. Okay, and then a similar note, because you said it really like flippantly, like, and then you could create an app, right? I'm just curious, is there like an AI tool or a similar question, right? Favorite tool or?
Yeah, Claude. So Claude Opus 4.6, what we're using today, is a really great one. And OpenAI has Codex. There's also things like Lovable, is one where you can go to and prototype up things very, very quickly, and actually build your app, out into production. So you could start by, taking a spreadsheet and using Claude to describe exactly what that spreadsheet is doing and ask it to tell you, how this spreadsheet could be transformed into an app, and to even write an AI prompt that would do that, and then go into Lovable and drop that prompt, and it'll build it.
One thing to be, if you're using Claude Cowork on your desktop, so the subscription.
Yeah.
And you're using the top level model, Opus 4.6, right? Depending on what you're doing, you can time out relatively quickly. And you can pay to have it do more to finish, more above the $20 a month, or you have to wait till your time resets, essentially.
Yeah.
So you can also use less capable models that are still very capable.
Yeah.
And not run into those limitations.
Yeah.
And so really the only limitation is either time or money, right? When if you're using Opus as a model,
yes,
as I've run into.
Yeah.
So.
And so while we were talking here, I just went and had it create a new page with the budget dashboard that shows, a pie chart. I had it populate this with dummy data just so we could kind of see what this looks like. But just in the short time here that we've been wrapping up this call, it was able to create all this.
Wonderful.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, please bring your questions, your challenges to us. Send in that case presentation form. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
If I could add one more thing, Laura, again, these sessions are recorded. So if you would like to go back and view some of the conversation that we had today or in previous sessions, you can find those on our YouTube channel, the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. And of course, if there's any questions for us at the Hub team, or you have any inquiries regarding the programming or logistics at all, please feel free to reach out to us again at our Business Echo email. That is hispanochamberecho@gmail.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Easter Bunny.